everyone, today I'm here to review Ready Player One. This is one of the books you guys voted to review on for the month of March. So yeah, let's talk about Ready Player One and the awesomeness that it was. So Ready Player One was written by Ernest Cline, and this is an adult book, and I loved it. I'm gonna put the book down because I get tired of holding it. So Ready Player One takes place in the year 2044, and the Great Recession is hit, and it's just kind of America's kind of scrambled to pieces. There's not a great country anymore as it is. And basically, this guy named James Halliday, if that's the right way to say it, he creates this virtual utopia, like a virtual world, and it is called Oasis, and it stands for, bear with me on this, ontologically anthropocetic sensory immersive simulations. OASIS. Oasis. It's pretty much stands for. It is a virtual world, and it's a multiplayer kind of thing. It's not like WoW or other games like that. This isn't actually a virtual world. All you need to put on is some haptic gloves and a visor, and it's like you are there. Like, people go to school through that. People have jobs through the Oasis. It's just crazy. So basically, the Oasis is popular. Everyone who's anyone is on it all the time, and that is what it's. That is the Oasis in a nutshell. And then James, the guy that created it, James Halliday, dies, and James Halliday did not have a lot of friends nor any family, so he didn't really write a will or leave anything to anybody, but instead he decided to create a game inside of the Oasis. So it's basically, he gives you a first clue to everyone, and you go from there, and it goes on to clues and clues and clues, and the winner, or whoever figures out this puzzle or game, gets to win James Halliday's life savings and prizes and stuff. So amazing, right? It's amazing. It is eventually called the Easter egg hunt, which is like, I don't know, and then everyone's usually called egg hunters, then it's, people are called gunters, basically. And pretty much that is what the book is about. The story takes place from a main protagonist named Wade Watts, or as his Oasis username is known, is Parzival, if that is the right way to say it. Parzival is most like other gunters. He dedicates his life to trying to find the winnings and trying to figure out the first clue inside of this Easter egg hunt. And basically, people study, and this book is basically about 80s pop culture. The guy that created the Oasis was an 80s pop culture junkie. He loved the 80s. He grew up in the 80s. That was his thing. He loved the 80s. So get any sort of clues inside of this Easter egg hunt. You have to know 80s pop culture, because that was Halliday's life. He loved 80s pop culture. So Wade Watts has dedicated his life to studying everything 80s. Like, this guy knows his stuff about the 80s. Like, everything there is to know about the 80s, he knows about. And so people research and research and research. Basically, what happens is when James Halliday dies and he puts his first clue up, it has been 5 years, this is when the story takes place, is 5 years after that, because no one has been able to figure out the very first clue. And finally, but of course our main protagonist figures out the first clue, and the story takes place from there, and it goes on to figure out the clues and how it ties in and the race, and it is just awesome. It is an amazing book. Like, I loved this book. Mere words can't describe my love for this book. I was born in the 80s, at the very tail end, 88, so I'm not a child of the 80s, I'm a child of the 90s. Hope there's a book about that soon. But the 80s is just so awesome to know about, and there's so many references to pop culture in it, and I love pop culture, honestly. I love learning about it. I don't really follow celebrities and stuff like that, but I like to learn about pop cultures. I mean, who doesn't like to watch VH1? I love the 80s or the 90s and that kind of stuff. Anywho, so basically it's about Wade Watts' journey into finding the golden Easter egg. Is it called the golden Easter egg? But it's just the Easter egg of James Halliday's, prize. And we encounter other friends of his along the way. Artemis and Ake, if that's the way to say his name, I don't know, but I loved Wade. I really understood Wade, because I know a lot of guys that really, their life is gaming and their life is just that. I felt like Wade, yes, was an avid gamer, but he was doing it for a specific reason, I think, to get out of the poverty that he was living in, to get out of the situation he had, and he also loved games. So I really identified myself with Wade, because I know so many people like him, and I really loved Wade. I love reading about his internal conflicts, reading about his triumphs and his setbacks and his journey to this prize, and this awesome prize that it was. I just really Loved that. And Ernest Cline's writing was amazing. I can't stress that enough. I was fully immersed in this world of 2044 and seeing stacks and seeing this whole 80s pop culture reference come to life. And I don't know much about the 80s, but I do know some stuff. So some of the stuff in there I knew. There's so much 80s, like John Hughes, which, by the way, if you don't know who John Hughes is or never seen any of his work, what are you doing with your life? Stop right now and go watch either Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, that kind of gist. Go watch those, my friend. So it's chock full of John Hughes reference, chock full of Rush, the band reference, which I'm not a fan of Rush, but my husband really likes them. Me and Tom Sawyer, am I right? Pac-Man, it's all about the 80s Pac-Man, jousting. So many things about the 80s. Before going any further, I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5 because I loved it to goodness, to pieces. It's one of my all-time favorites, I gotta be honest with you. I really loved reading everything about it. Like I said, I immersed myself in it. I just couldn't get enough of this world. And when I talked to everyone about it, because I like to talk about my favorite books to my friends and other people, and they were like, this should be a movie. And I said, it should be a movie. So when I was doing some research on Ready Player One, I learned that Warner Brothers actually bought the rights for this novel to be made into a film in 2010. It's 2013, Warner Brothers. Better get stepping on it, because this would be an amazing movie. I worry that it would take away from the book somewhat, but it's such a cool premise, such a cool plot. I think the movie would be phenomenal and people would just fall in love with the book even more, because sometimes you just read books and you're just like, this would be an awesome movie. And I feel that way about Ready Player One. Also, another little tidbit of information that I know you're really wanting to love. When I was doing Ready Player One, actually Ernest Cline, the author, wrote a little puzzle or Easter egg hunt inside of Ready Player One, and he created clues and stuff like that, and the winner of the person who figured out the puzzle would win a DeLorean. Who would not want a DeLorean? Like, I would be happy if a DeLorean was sitting in my driveway. I would love that. Eventually the winner came about, and I knew it was on TV or something. I just thought that was cool to share on to you guys. Overall, you need to go pick this book up right now. If you really like, if you like pop culture, if you like adventure, if you like just awesomeness, pick up this book, and I think you will not be disappointed, honestly. I just really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to see more from Ernest Cline. Write a 90s book, man. And bookshelves are back up. Yay! It's gonna be probably changing a little bit because they're a completely different location than they were last time. They were over there, now they're over here. So I hope the lighting and stuff goes good, because with new setups brings new lighting and new frustrations that no one likes, because I suck at it. Anyway, that is all for me now. I will see you guys in my next video, and go read Ready Player One. Bye.
Well, we worked and we tried, but we just